Do we need to call an alternate? Do we have to?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Diane, why don't you come up? All right, so it's August 1st, 7:02. I'm going to call the show cause hearing special meeting to order, and we are going to start with the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and so we have, let's see, okay, so we have Phyllis Berger here, we have Diane Garner, Doreen Ryan, I'm Kristen Chantrell, Don Fimminster, Greg McIntyre, Gary Gaishel, we have Stu Spang, our recording secretary, and Ann Chapello for Board of Selectmen. We are going to start with the show cause hearing, cease and desist order. Andrzej, I don't know how to say that name, Andrzej Kowalski. Okay, what you said, respondent. Andrzej. 14 Park Lane, Assessor's Map 4.7, Lot 23, Niantic, Connecticut.
I'll just stand up here so you can hear me. The respondent is not here this evening. I've yet to make contact with them. So I'm still not certain. We have not received the green card back, so I'm not certain they even received the order. That said, there's a copy of the order, I think, being passed around up there. Yep, Phyllis has got it. I have colored pictures here if you'd like to take a look at the color ones. Essentially, the landowner is reconstructing a house. They brought in fill material, a substantial amount of fill material, and it is, in my opinion, within 300 feet of an inland wetland and watercourse, which is located on 2-4 Park Lane and drains essentially easterly down across the Giants Neck Heights Beach Club property under their driveway and out into the salt marsh. It is within, I mean, again, it's on the edge of 300 feet, so it could possibly be over. It would be the landowner's responsibility to demonstrate that it is. So without them here tonight, they do have the opportunity to speak as to why they should not be held in violation, but without them commenting, the order would stand. So that's all I have. I can pass this around so you can see the color codes.
So this was sent to them on July 25th?
Yeah, I believe so. It'll be the
10 days ago, right?
yes, today will be 10 days from today.
Right. And so have you been there, like, within the last couple days to see if they've done anything?
I have not been by further, although I was told today that the photo here, they've subsequently done additional work, and there's more area behind the silt fence on the water side that's been disturbed. Giant Neck Beach Heads, the president, or the incoming president, contacted me complaining about the site. I told her, it is possibly within 300 feet of this water course. That's my only jurisdiction. In the meantime, she should contact Bill Mulholland, our zoning official, and he can begin his enforcement action possibly under the Coastal Area Management Code section of the zoning regs. That said, she was also advised to contact the DEEP, Office of Long Island Sound. So I think between the three of us, we should be able to get some correspondence back and forth with them and get something corrected here.
Gary, just a question. What do you do if the green card's not returned?
We could resend it, send it regular mail. I believe if the green card is not returned, it was never received, so there's no proof in that, and then we just have to continuously do it. If they never sign the green card, the other option is I sent this one just certified. My other practice is to send it both regular and certified, and then you can say you have no excuse for not having received it. And if you don't read your mail, that's not my fault. That's kind of how I look at it. So even though it was sent certified, if you don't read your mail, you don't sign for it, then that's not my fault either. So I think the town still could go forward with enforcement.
So there's actually a house on that someone's living in on the property?
I don't know if anyone's living. I don't believe it's got a CO as of yet. They have building permits for it. The project started without building permits. We've subsequently had to have taken some enforcement action, but they pulled their building permits, so they're legal there. But there's no CO yet for the structure. I think it's just still under construction.
So do you have an address for them that's not like where you sent it?
I got 14 Park Lane and the address of the landowner. So I didn't bother sending it to 14 Park Lane because there's no one in the home.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. I was like, did you send, if there's nobody
No,
there, they're not gonna
it should
be
have the
there, but-
address on the letter.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see, yep.
I think it was it Avon or Rocky Hill or something.
It's New Britain.
New Britain. Yeah, it's-
Okay. All right.
so that's all I have on that.
All right, so that stands. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Special meeting.
All those in favor?
All right.
All right, moving on. So I would like to open the regular monthly meeting of the Wetlands Agency. It's 7:08 on August 1st. Do I need to go through everything again? Okay. So we'll just jump right to public delegations. Public delegations is the time when members of the public are invited to speak to the commission about certain matters, issues or concerns related to approved wetland permits, and in-house proposals or general topics of discussion are open to comment. Agenda items, referrals, applications subject to a decision by the commission, a public hearing, or in litigation may not be discussed. Members of the commission will not directly answer questions or make comment during delegations. No one's here. Moving on. No public hearings. Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes of the special meeting of July 13th, 2023?
I wasn't there at that meeting, but I noticed that there was a duplicate of one of the bullets in the, like, I think it was like what was written by the other, yeah, like if you look, if you, I don't, my computer's not working, so I couldn't pull it up. But when I looked at it earlier, it was caught my eye. So it's on the third page. It says, whereas pursuant to section 10.5, and it says, oh no wait, that's not, that wasn't it.
It's the upland review process does not
Yes.
forbid activity based solely on proximity to wetlands.
Yeah,
It's the third and fourth paragraphs are the same.
yes. Okay, so it's on the third page, and then it's the third and fourth paragraphs that they both start with whereas. They're the same.
The upland review process.
Is the upland review, yeah.
See, this one. Yeah.
I don't know if that was like
Yep.
a typo in the thing that was presented or not, but I was like reading it and I'm like, I just read this.
On the third page of the minutes?
Yes.
Is that no,
Sorry.
Yeah, no, no problem.
Okay. I don't.
Good catch.
No, really. They even say anything. Okay. So I just want to strike that one, or is it okay just to say it?
I'll note it in the following.
Okay. All right,
So I move that the minutes of the special meeting be accepted as amended.
It's amended.
all right,
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, we have the ex officio report.
Ian Chikello, ex officio for the Board of Selectmen. The meeting for the Board of Selectmen last month, we only had one meeting, and the second one was canceled. And our next meeting is tomorrow night, so I really don't have anything to report. So, it's summer. It's quiet, which is a good thing. Does anybody have any questions? No? Okay. Thanks.
Nope. No new business, no new pending applications. Old business, the inland wetlands watercourse regulations. We had to go through 11 through the end. Anyone has any comments on them? I'd like to just go through this last section, and then Gary's gonna make all the revs and give us a clean copy, and then we'll just discuss one more time about it.
Yeah, so I spoke briefly with Don Villa, contacted me to make sure that we received the Conservation Commission comments. I've received them, I have a copy of them. I can shoot them out to all of you, so you all have a copy. But in my discussion with Don, I invited him to come to our next meeting if he wanted to discuss his comments with the commission. The commission, the Conservation Commission has some expertise on there that I think could be valuable for you. So we've got Penny Heather, who's a biologist, Don himself is also a biologist. Mark Christensen, who's a farmer, has a degree in agriculture. So they're pretty well versed. Laura Ashburn, she teaches ecology at high school. So I think it's a good opportunity to kind of lean on them a little bit to see what their thoughts are on regulation changes. So that's available to the commission. I'll schedule that up for our next meeting. In the meantime, finish the 11th meeting again. I've already started accepting changes and trying to consult with the document. In progress. So finish up tonight. I think I can get all the changes done and put it back up to the commission. 3 weeks of review time. Before next meeting.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Yeah, and then we can meet with them, and I feel like we would get everybody's input, and then we can finalize these in the fall. Maybe public hearing, right, of course. So I really didn't have any comments in the last sections.
That's what I was telling you.
Yeah, that's
Legalese
what-
stuff is not
right,
my
right.
forte.
I got a comment from Bill Shear, Deputy Director of Public Works, on subdivision regs that we're working on. The comment they made in regards to those regs were make sure that you kind of leave yourself out in terms of being able to deny an application, call it incomplete before it goes to the commission. Subdivision regs currently, the planning commission is the only entity you can say it's incomplete. So it does take up, their staff time, their time. I think it would be more efficient if staff could determine that the application is complete, so it's not going to go forward.
But I thought our new hotness, the new hotness with the app and everything is going to have them make sure they had to load everything first.
So with the new application software, the My Government Online that we're looking at,
Yes.
that we're starting to move forward with developing that system.
We don't have it yet.
It'll probably take a good 8 months to a year to develop. Probably after 6 months, we can probably put it into a beta version where we're just using it in-house. So
Got
that's
it.
still moving forward. And
All right.
we're just not there yet. But ideally, once we are, all their documents will be submitted by PDF. If they didn't have the document, we won't accept it. That's the problem.
Yeah, and ideally it would be spelled out too in our regs
Mhm.
for reference.
So we do need an out still?
Well, I mean, we may not need one in that scenario, but it certainly can work to have some language or something in there that at least determines what may constitutes a complete application, and that it can be determined ahead of time before we put it on the agenda,
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely.
you know.
Yeah, we don't want to waste time reviewing something if it's technically not complete, because it could change and we have to look at it again.
Sure.
It's kind of a minor thing,
But yeah, that's a good point.
So I'll look to add that in somewhere.
Okay. So I guess not much on the last section. Does anyone have anything else to add before Gary goes and makes all the changes?
No.
submission. In the regs, I did add a section that they provide a PDF Word copy, at least one PDF version of the entire application, all application materials, so digital copy. I put it in there even though because we don't have a software system up and running yet. So
Yeah, that's right.
reduced the number of hard copies to 6. Basically, provides one file copy and another stack. For our staff.
Yeah, 6 should be plenty, I would think.
It's the only thing new that I had. Then,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll probably have Ally figure this out.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Does anyone need another minute with these, or do you think we're good?
There weren't
Good.
a whole lot of changes to the end.
Yeah, I think,
We
yeah, the
have-
big thing was kind of that intermediate
Yes.
and the
that was
impervious calculations.
correct. Also, I think there's a section in there on steep slopes. And I think it said something, that the extended jurisdictions at the top of the slope, areas outside the 300 feet at 20% or greater. I thought maybe that should be 25% or greater.
Oh, for
So
slope.
20% slope is steep, or.
So was it 20, when it was 100 feet, it was 20%, so you're proposing since 300 feet, do 25%?
We never had it.
Oh, we never had it before, okay.
We never had some.
We never had a slope.
Something
It's in there now.
proposed group wanted.
My thought was,
Natural group wanted to
20, 25, I don't know.
That's a tough one. Does that happen very often?
But I think in the future it will. It'll happen. I anticipate because we built pretty much all the flat land here in town, and future developments, 100 years from now, will be continuously going through higher and higher grades, with the exception of a few areas in the north end of town which are rolling hills and flat.
Yeah.
Currently occupied by farms. So the land that's not occupied by a farm and it's forested and may be built, I think we see slopes. We see more of it.
Well, it gives you the option, you don't necessarily have to do it, right?
Right, you don't have to, unless, again, that the language is, the commission would have to determine that there's a likelihood of a significant impact of a resource beyond 300 feet on a slope greater than 25%. And it ends at a point at which the slope reduces to 10% for 50 feet. Wow, I think we can find that.
Yeah, and if you're the property owner, you're going to say, wait a second, you're telling me that what I'm doing on the side of this hill is going to have an impact on that waterway, a mile away.
Now, ironically, I wasn't here for the subdivision, but let's take the one adjacent to the Darrell Pond piece on Upper Pat. It was on the hill subdivision. It was a massive, I think those you may have seen or here for that, they had a massive erosion problem into the lake.
Mm-hmm.
And this was across the street.
Mm-hmm.
And as we know, the parcel on the corner on the south side of Kensington Drive is not within 300 feet of the water course, with the exception of the outlet. I would classify as a drainage ditch, but I'm not a soil scientist. So,
Yeah,
looking at the
slopes do have a
distances there,
pretty,
right? So in that outlet, in that waterway, was a water course, was probably 200 and change. So the fact that this large amount of material made its way into Lake Patagonia makes me think it's because it was a slope issue. I don't know, failed using.
5-inch rainfall.
Yeah, it could have been a
slope.
1,000-year storm
Yeah,
too. I was just
right.
going to say, yeah.
It was back in 2006 or something, whenever that thing got started, so I was just getting I still believe.
Yeah, I don't know how you codify that. I mean, it would be nice if the people doing the development would say, oh, we're gonna run into that ditch, so let's put a bale of hay or something down there that.
I mean, well, I have cases of that case. I don't know of any other major cases like that other than solar farm. That was kind of a different anomaly in and of itself. That was, where the slopes didn't exceed 25%, but it all ended up in a waterway that. I don't know. So it's something to think about. I guess we can discuss it next meeting further if you want.
Do some research on it.
modify it.
I mean, those sound like one-time issues, like during construction we had an impact because it was a 25-degree slope. It's not like we built a gas station and paved all the available ground, and so every time there's a rainstorm, it's going to flush down that slope. It's tough. It's tough.
So, trying to think of, what's the best management practice? Can we regulate it? Should we regulate it? I think that there are towns in the Northwest Hills, they have these regulations specifically, they see it frequently. So I'm just kind of trying to anticipate the future, saying as we build further and further north in town, this is what we're probably going to experience, or we may.
Yeah, and I always think it's good to have verbiage at least to fall back on. I mean, ultimately we can say you're fine. Most likely would they even need to come to us?
Well, that's what my point is that, if the closest inland waterway is more than 300 feet away, would they even consider coming to us until?
I think I guess a good example of this would be Avalon Bay Communities versus the town of Wilton. And this was one of these cases where Wilton said, hey, we're going to regulate that. And they said, you can't. It's over beyond your jurisdiction. We said, no, we have this regulation for slopes over 25%, so we can regulate to the top of the slope. And you just have to be honest about, So it ultimately went to court. I think the town lost. So at least by having a regulation, I think they had permitted. So even if they denied the application, and it back, and it was just but I think it at least gave them initially the ability to deny it. Otherwise, they never would have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look into that.
All right, so yeah, if you could send out those, at least to start, what Don sent. Did he send in some information in the email, Don Danilo?
Yeah, his comments.
Okay.
He had a brief email and then.
I think you forwarded it to me, and I just have been preoccupied. We can take a look at those, and then they'll be in next meeting, and then we should be able to get through these.
That's all that we need.
I know. Sorry, you've been winning over here. Baseball. Okay, perfect. So next we have the reports.
I think I emailed you a PDF of his comments. So I'll have to send it to the commission because his email didn't have the comments in it. He gave the comments to it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
We'll get there.
Perfect. All right, chairman's report. I guess I don't have anything. If you can just refresh my memory, we discussed the Old Lyme club, the tennis club there.
Oh, yes.
What's going on with that?
I can follow.
Okay.
I'm not certain, other than we want to do something out there.
Yeah, there's been a ton of clearing. I heard they're doing like a rock climbing park or something, or some kind of park thing.
It's a camp. It's a camp. Yeah, it's
they
got
have
the-
like a high ropes course.
Right.
They put it in.
Is
It's a. Are you talking about like a Lyme?
Yeah.
Lyme
Lyme
Shores.
Shores
Yeah,
tennis
yeah,
club.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they put in like a zip line and like a high ropes.
Is that on the
course.
side of the
yeah, the
72?
connector. along the
Yeah.
connector.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah. You
It's
can't see it
kinda-
now because of the leaves, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the uphill side behind the tennis facility as opposed to the downhill side, which would be, although they did clear
They cleared acres and
clear
acres.
down towards the waterway that we talked about for the storage place over there.
Yeah.
So it would be the same waterway, whatever is down there.
But his wetland expansion toward the highway, wraps around the Lake Shores.
Mhm.
And there's some other drainage from the highway that comes up to the back. That whole area back behind their tennis courts is wet.
That whole area is what they cleared.
Yeah, it's all been cleared.
Dramatically cleared.
Yeah,
I
we
go
talked
in there,
about that a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
couple, I think it was last month. 2 months ago. So I'll follow up.
You know, they just had like a thing last weekend where kids could come to like try it out and stuff, because that's how I knew about it, because I saw it when we were away. I was
Yeah,
gonna
they've
take
been
my
going to
kids.
summer
Huh.
camp.
But it's like a big zip line and
Wow.
I don't think that our zoning
Well, I'm wondering that too.
aware either.
Yeah, right.
So they cleared it, they haven't done anything in the forward part, they've only improved the part of the fill,
Hmm.
but it doesn't mean they aren't planning on it, it's just.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any permits over the years.
Okay. Yeah, that was the one thing that crossed my mind. So then moving to you, Gary, and the wetlands agent report.
So I have a notice of a timber harvest for Gail Stefanski at 130 Crossing Road. Austin Harmon, Total Forest Products Inc. is the forester. Take a look at a map of what they're looking to do with this notification. The crossings are going to be corduroy, removed when they're done. So it doesn't look like there's any regulated activities with this. Snow, activity. No bridges, other than just corridors. So that, also got a permit application for use of pesticides in state waters for 20 Atlantic Street.
Is that the
Pond. Applicant is Stall Holdings LLC, doing business as the Pond and Lake Connection, 1112 Federal Road in Brookfield, Connecticut. And we've got a list of all the owners that are involved, so it's all Pond, Walden Pond. As far as dates.
I think you said pesticide. Not this week's it, but
It's for use of pesticides in the state parks.
I came to my house to put pesticides in my house for the bugs. You don't know what I do for
Oh,
So it's
all
not
right,
really
here we
put
go.
pesticide on my house.
There, the person that's
Cool, it's
submitting this
great.
application on behalf is Joe Casey of 17 Ocean Ave. So we're looking to add, you know, the chemicals.
Mhm.
If I pronounce this right, Cutrine, reward glyphosate 5.4 percent. So,
Glycophosphate or glycophate?
this is glyphosate 5.4, 3/4 per acre. That I know is
It's
herbicide.
kind it's Roundup.
So that's probably for the algae. The others could be, I don't know, other plants.
It's
So,
just fact
and
by use.
again, it's a pesticide, and that's just one form.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it's been issued yet. It's been currently reviewed.
oh, so the application went directly to D.
Yeah, I got that.
That's what that is. Okay. Okay.
So,
Will they inform you of their decision?
I believe they'll send out email or something, or I'll get a letter and I'll send it.
Do they think it's actually their purview to do it? Is it a free exchange with the ocean?
No, there's no free exchange.
Well, then, I mean, why would it be deep and not us?
You can acquire them. They still have to get to it, because they're still in charge of the application of herbicides and pesticides. They still have a permit process.
Okay.
So it may not exempt them from the local permit. And I believe we went through this down in,
Giant Sand Beach.
the same, we're applying, I think policy-wise, we said we wanted to require a local permit for it. So in this particular case, what I can do is reach out to Joe Casey and just say, Joe, just so you know, you get this, you're gonna get a local license.
That pond is a disaster. It's just good.
We applied this afternoon. Yes.
They just put what? They just put a new storm drain in.
The outlets, we created the outlet years ago, probably 5 to 8 years now.
Yeah, this is a drain into the pond, up the road towards McCook's.
That, I don't know.
That just went in today. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me can't get structure for that.
It's a corrugated metal pipe, looks to be about 2 feet in diameter, runs right out into the pond. It's got a nice gravel bed. And, the pond is just a continuous algae, I guess.
That's just gonna help with load volume.
Exactly.
Into the pond.
Right, exactly. Which will more often than not be salt water that came over, during the storm. I don't know whether that helps anything or not. They've also clear cut the Phragmites on the side next to the
They
road.
did, I noticed that.
Well, the saltwater inundation isn't frequent enough to eradicate the fragmites.
Right.
Short of routine applications of Roundup, herbicide, I would say the best bet is to collectively go in and get a permit to excavate all the pond, all the fragmites.
But they were here talking to us, right? I
Yeah.
thought we've had open conversations, and then they just kind of went and, even the clear cutting, aren't they supposed to be asking for a permit for doing that?
Well, I know Diane Andrews, she came and spoke with us. I don't know if she's affiliated with this permit or any of I don't believe she is. My understanding in discussing things with Wayne Blair, who brought the clearing to my attention, indicated that this may be independent from that service. Not that you knew specifically that I see that that's a name, so that's obviously that's an interest in us. So, well, they may be well intended, permits.
Right.
I find, we've been down this road with the pond farther down the coast there. Yeah, and the only thing that helped was 5 inches of rain and cooler temperatures. I mean, these ponds are not deep, and the
Right.
water temperature gets to be 95, 100 degrees, completely devoid of oxygen. Any fish are living in there are gone. You get some crabs and some eels that can survive. And then this algae just grows like a hydroponic tomato plant, and it just takes over everything. The only thing that I've seen that helps that is just a huge freshwater rainfall.
Or a little water fountain, right? I mean, if you're just
Aerate it down.
just aerate it a little bit,
Yep.
it looks nice.
Doesn't work though. An aerator doesn't work.
It doesn't?
We tried it. No.
Oh, really?
It's ironic. Trees would help because it would give shade.
Yeah.
But when you live in that type of neighborhood, people want their views.
Right. Right.
So that's why there's no trees there.
As far as I can tell. So I know the one over in Attawan, they're talking about adding microbes.
I heard a story.
Some company in Florida, they advertise, they treat all the ponds in Florida to keep them clear, and they add microbes, like living things.
Really?
Like, whoa, I'm not sure I'm all about that.
We've done that before.
Invasive. Sounds
Yeah,
invasive
exactly.
to me.
Especially in water that exchanges with the ocean. I'm just like,
Yeah, yeah.
thank you.
It's not something that we've done it as humans in the past, using this species to control other species.
Yep.
I don't know that it ever ends really well. It usually leads to some overpopulation the others.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be a great idea in this case. Sort of dredging the pond probably would be a start. Or just, I don't know what to tell them. That it's going to have natural succession.
Free exchange with the ocean would help. Yeah, when Deep came to the Adelon Pond and they brought their electricator in and they cleaned out the pipes and let the water flow back, it helped a lot. And then Davis Beach just plowed them over. So it's almost an insoluble problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, if we, having built the homes on the bar in front, right, that there. Again, their ponds, we regulate them, we'll just continue to do so. Yes. If and when, if I come across a grant or something, I can reach out to you and say, there's some restoration money here. Maybe we can go that route, put a plan together, and take it to the commission for determination.
Yeah.
Exempt, just do it. Of course, other issues I've issued, I've got 2 items, 11 Ridge Trail, and 9 Mosley Lane. They both requested their bonds back, their small amounts, went out for site inspections of each. But basically, the items aren't directly on the agenda. So, they need a motion to add it to the agenda, and then a motion to release the bond. Put it on next month's agenda, that's what I meant to do this month.
We can make a motion to add these 2 items to the agenda.
Yeah, get it done.
11 Ridge Trail and 9 Mosley.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Second it.
All those in favor? Aye.
Gary.
Greg.
Great.
And Doreen seconded.
So we need a motion to,
Yeah, so 11 Ridge Trail, they had a small buffer behind the house that they constructed alongside a water course. Established. I went out and counted the plantings. This is a picture of it in. It's a small buffer area.
yeah.
So that was back when it went in. Proposed plan. The bond was, I think, roughly $1,000 to cover plantings.
About 2 years?
We issued this in 2020, so it's been 3 years thus far.
Right.
It's been almost
Yeah.
Quite a few growing seasons.
almost 4 growing seasons.
Yeah. Okay. I think they're good. So-
Support that decision.
Do we need to make a motion to release the bond?
Yes.
Would anybody like to make that motion?
Do we have to add them first to the agenda?
We did.
Oh, you did, okay.
What's the address?
11 Ridge Trail.
I make a motion to release the bond for 11 Ridge Trail.
Do I hear a second?
Is that sufficient?
Yeah. Okay. Greg seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so next is 9 Mosley Lane.
Yep. Yes, another $1,000 bond. This was a wetland restoration area. It was an existing home that got rebuilt. They came in, I don't know if you recall, but it was a small area in the rear of the building that had to get filled, and I guess in order to, at least have enough room to walk around. The corner of the existing house was literally like half of the boundary. So they proposed 800 square feet of additional wetland, which went in. Again, this permit was issued in 2019. This was $1,000. So the plantings, I went out in the inspection. Plantings are in, more mature now, full up. So I wouldn't be adverse to releasing the bond. Certainly, say the plantings will be well maintained in that neighborhood. Chris McMorring does the landscaping for Diane Fawn care is taking care of the property, so he was involved in some of the correspondence back and forth with the landowner, and he also put the plantings in.
And they're fully aware, yeah, that, I mean, they obviously
Yeah.
approved for it, they're not gonna mow them down or anything.
No, they
Yeah.
again, this was issued back in 2019, so
What's the address?
9 Mosley Lane.
I move that we approve the release of the bond at 9 Mosley Lane.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
And then as far as permits that I've issued, I issued a permit for 83 Lovers Lane. It's a small addition, second story deck. Again, 3 Spring Glen Road. Spring Glen was a single-family addition, 50 square feet. 110 Whirlwood Drive, the demolition of existing detached garage and construction of a 460 square foot detached garage. 28 Quail Crest, this was construction installation of a 15 by 30 large pool. 33 Rockwood Drive, single-family dwelling. Plans are like to the top of the hill, just back to me. So a lot of these never did require all of them. 300 feet, well over.
Okay.
Did you want to have? Or I just one last note?
Oh, yeah, Sue kindly pointed out, so at the last meeting, we approved a determination at 66 Grassy Hill. We added it to the agenda. Unfortunately, it was a special meeting, so we weren't allowed to add it to the agenda. It was a special meeting. That said, this is a regular meeting, so we would consider adding the request for a determination of a permanent non-regular activity of Catherine Christensen at 66 Grassy Hill Road to the agenda for a revote. Just to revote on the determination. So if you want the language to read it, the motion added to the agenda. It's there.
Request for termination. Okay.
66 months.
Yep.
Termination.
13
The one
acres.
in the
Farmland. Oh.
Yeah, that pond, remember we
Yep.
discussed
Oh,
it?
yeah, sure. Yeah,
We
okay.
added it, technicality, we just
Yeah.
couldn't add it,
He
so we
sells
could
the
just
trees.
add it right here and,
So is this a brook that's running through their property?
No, they're gonna make it.
This is a farm pond.
No, they're making
And
it.
they want to take, there's a swampy area.
Okay.
I guess Jason said that, and they want to excavate that out.
Okay, so they're not taking any water away from like a neighbor who might
See, they're
have a
creating
brook?
No,
wetlands.
they're not.
They're creating wetlands. They're gonna be in trouble.
well, let's first look, can we just add it, am I just saying,
Yeah,
can we
sure.
add it to the agenda?
Make a motion to add a request for determination of permanent non-regular activity from Catherine Christensen, 66 Grassy Hill Road. Mark Christensen, 66 Grassy Hill Road, says he owns 13 acres of farmland, which is in PA 490. He would like to build a farm pond. He raised Christmas trees and lost 50% of his newly planted trees last year due to drought. The pond will be used to help the watering of the trees. And we both motioned at the time.
So, all right, so you added it to the agenda, do I hear a second?
So,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so yeah, you want to discuss, the water source coming in, if it was gonna dry up
Well,
further
no.
downstream?
I was more concerned about the neighbors because I think when he was here, I asked him if he had talked to the neighbors and he said no.
Right.
So that's why I was just kind of curious how it would affect the neighbors.
I'd have to ask them specifically. Where you might go. Maybe well,
I thought the way he described it was more of like a marshy wetlands, and he was just gonna, it's just kind of digging into the groundwater table, that it wasn't like flowing much past his
This is the
property.
pond. This is a holding place, holding thing.
We don't have any maps or anything,
Even
of
though it's
the-
just marsh there,
Just
it may be
for
flowing through it. Just
Well,
makes
it, technically it's agricultural use.
Yeah, we really
Oh.
can't even
So
say
it's
that.
we-
It's true. Yeah, he's got 13 acres.
That's the best I have.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's agricultural, so he using
It
some.
doesn't show
Identify
anything, yeah.
going into it. But I think it's a wetland area. It's not. It's probably
If I remember correctly, I think we thanked him for coming to let us know, but
Yeah.
basically acknowledged
Deemed
that
it
it's an
was
agricultural
correct.
activity, really not something that we could regulate.
Right. Because it's farmland, we can't
Because
do.
It's
do
for
any-
agricultural use,
agricultural use,
yeah.
so we
It's-
can't
it's
do anything.
exempt, yeah.
Okay.
it's directly related to the farming operation.
So,
Yeah.
so do we need to move to approve it because we?
You need to find that it's a non-regulated activity, exempt under section 4. That's what it's requesting.
Which that's the one that about agriculture.
Yes.
Like I don't memorize, sorry.
No.
Four point one A, grazing, farming, nurseries, harvesting of crops, and farm ponds on 3 acres or less, essential to the farming operation, and activities conducted by or under the authority of the deep, for the purpose of wetland or watercourse restoration or enhancement, mosquito control.
Right?
She's got the data, why don't you make the motion?
Okay,
There's the
So-
address.
I make a motion that the application for determination of permitted non-regulated activity at 66 Grassy Hill Road in East Lyme is a non-regulated activity as per 4.1.a, the regulation, is that it, is that the
Yeah, 4.1A.
4.1a?
1A.
Is that as per the regulation 4.1a?
Okay.
Is that sufficient?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, thank you.
Oh, I found it on
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay. I have a random, just a random question. So beaver dams in town, are those, how does the town manage those or not manage those? Is that something we need? I mean, aren't they protected or no?
Or
Well,
nuisance.
beaver, I mean,
Depends on what it
hunting
is.
season for beavers, so they, hunting and trapping, you have to follow the rules and regulations for hunting and trapping them. But
Eat 'em.
removing of their dams is not, to my knowledge, a regulated activity. I've never required anyone to do a permit for it. I usually tell them to call the crew cop or someone
Yes.
similar,
They move them.
to help them remove it. And in some cases, they can just relocate the beavers and actually
Yes,
make
sir.
it too big to
We trap them and bring them around
Mhm.
for those play.
There's a couple on Latimer Brook behind the church and the neighboring property.
Yes.
On the church property was flooding, and they just cooperated together to do it.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad for everyone.
They do have to do it during a certain season. They can do it out of season, but then they have to be working.
Oh. Just curiosity.
Certain seasons, they can take the beaver, help.
They're smart.
So that helps. I have not required wetland permits for it. I know there's not that many.
Mm-hmm.
There's one over here at Dodge Pond that some folks have been complaining about. Which we're going to do about that.
Dodge Pond? Really?
Yeah, I guess that's what I was surprised. But I guess off of Lake Ave, a spin of land where it comes together, there's some flow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's
Beavers
just
are
go fishing.
trying to stop that flow.
Well, they're gonna bring the water. Get their feet up.
I don't know what some of that, but I'm not sure if that was a town thing or neighbors are not.
There's a property owner is affected.
That's all I had. Oh, one more item. An Niagara Watershed Protection Plan update. It's out. So it should be available online. I have a hard, my only hard copy. If you want to look at it, you can. June 2020. Haven't looked through it. I'm not sure what's in it as far as the update.
Are we keeping up with our floodplains and all that stuff and all that data, like current? For, yeah, for like, with,
So the FEMA floodplain maps?
Yes.
FYI?
yes.
The current maps are current. They are, we're working with.
Mm-hmm.
FEMA is looking to do an update.
I heard
So that I have draft maps in my office I'm looking at.
That'll shake things up.
They're making some changes. I don't, with the change that they last made, took houses that were outside the flood zone and found themselves in. This is kind of going to go do the opposite, and some houses will find themselves back out.
That'd be awesome.
I guess the data's better now, and with flyovers, I guess the capabilities are better, and we're able to figure out the topography.
Found out that our stream gauge isn't working with the government. Has a stream gauge over here with the GIS, and it's broken. Crap, I have to look at the email I got. But yeah, the one that goes from Latimer into Nyack Bay. There's a stream gauge.
Yeah.
And it's supposedly not working. I tried looking up the numbers and stuff. I couldn't get data, so it's broken. And I was inquiring to the government about what happened. When's it gonna get fixed?
Yeah.
I was thinking they could do a lot more with that kind of knowledge, but I'll check my email. Yes, they are remote.
I can ask around. I know people like to call.
Oh, I'll show you what I have.
That's it. Is that the little brook? That's.
I'm not sure where it is. I was going to
it's-
try to find it.
It's kind of towards Flanders from 95.
Yes,
And just
that's
on
Latimer.
the-
Yeah, it goes parallel.
Yeah,
but
it's
it
parallel
feeds-
there.
Yep.
People are fishing in there and all.
Yeah,
that.
they're not supposed to, but
I can't believe that that's not going to be
it's a
adversely
fish ladder,
impacted
so
by
yeah,
the
that's what fish.
construction
It's illegal.
projects going on.
That's like you're one way up the waterway, so
But-
the salmon can can breed
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff. But people fish it, and when the trout's come in, and then they boom them. So it's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah,
They just
yeah,
sit there,
right.
just get them. It's ridiculous. It's the least sportsman fishing I've ever seen.
Had I known, I would have.
Yeah, no, there's a gauge there. It's not working. So I was concerned since I want to know about flooding.
Yeah, right.
That's what I think they'd like to see. That one, the right.
Oh, that would be great. I was thinking about more
Yeah.
data, getting more.
I mentioned to my last meeting, planning commission, I did a field trip to the prison property with some staff here. Met a gentleman from Deep who explained all of Bride Lake and the Ellwhite Run. So if you don't know, it's one of the strongest runs on the eastern seaboard. When they hit 30,000, population of 30,000 Ellwites, they actually start selling. So it's all a numbers game, and they closely monitor, but it's quite a natural wonder experience, not many
Yeah, well, absolutely.
provides. And
Yeah.
I think, listening to them, one perspective is that Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island probably should get on the same market as Maine. And there's a restriction on offshore fishing. Bycatch is the element. Bycatch is that fish that's about that long, 1 foot. And fishermen are saying, no, it's not bycatch. But it is. You can directly correlate fishing practices with decline in population. In Maine, their numbers are all bounced back. So it's not like the population will come back. And this is a very strong run. So they've indicated, I think they have up to 145,000.
Wow.
Season. So that's a pretty strong one. So that was a good year, I guess. And a lot of it is how climate change will affect it. It's all about, can the Ellwhite get back at you? The guy goes out there literally every day, 3 weeks, and just drops the beer boards each, as the pond starts growing. So, they take it pretty seriously. And we were looking at the town's interest, obviously, to the water source next to it. And could that become a larger water source? More water there possibly. I don't think that's going to be something that happens deeply. The way they cherish that Ellwhite run. You never know. Maybe 100 years from now. That's all I have to report. You know that?
So where does the pollution come from that closes Rocky Neck?
Oh,
There's the sewer
Yeah.
facility.
runoff.
Uh,
Around
maybe
houses, septic.
Yeah. It's a combined
Nasty.
stormwater sewer, and so when we get a large rainfall, it overflows.
Yeah.
But those are all town sewers. through that area.
Yes, well, I don't think necessarily
isn't it?
our sewer pump stations were overwhelmed and they flooded or back up or leak. I do know Alewife Road, Waterford had that problem for years, with the pump station that constantly overflowed, rain. So that could be, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, I don't think it happens regularly, probably would have heard about that, but I think a lot of it is just what's being flushed off of the surface of the earth and entering into Long Island Sound.
Well, they did a news study actually of the beaches in Connecticut, the cleanest and the dirtiest beaches. The cleanest is Hole in the Wall in East Lyme, and the dirtiest is Rocky Neck.
Isn't that weird?
In the same town, just a few miles apart in the entire state. We have the cleanest and dirtiest beaches.
I can't really explain Rocky Neck other than, you know, maybe you have such a massive wetland ahead of all that discharge. It's an anomaly. I don't know why you have such high levels.
But isn't it like, I mean, Rocky Neck and Giant's Neck beaches are so shallow for so long. So it's like, I mean, and then I feel like Hole in the Wall, like McCook's, it drops off pretty easily. So the water's deeper. So I feel like maybe it doesn't get as warmer, so the bacteria can't flourish. I don't know. That would be my
You probably have
guess.
colder water, and,
Yeah.
and because you have that long stretch, right, you don't get as great of a flush
Right.
even with the tide. So maybe that contributes to it. Warm water, you get higher bacterial concentrations of E. coli.
Anytime I've been to Rocky Neck, it's just loaded with the geese droppings everywhere.
And that's, I think, the other issue is that's kind of what's
Yeah, it's going into the water.
pushed into the
Yeah.
Yeah. We've put lights, some type of lights that you can't see, people can't see, in the pond, and we've actually eliminated a lot of the geese.
Really?
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Wow.
We put infrared lights in or
Yep.
UV?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, that's really neat.
Okay, that's new technology. I always, red pepper, cayenne, MSG. I don't know how the MSG works in Australia very well, but I think the cayenne and red pepper do.
Cool. All right. 8 on the dot. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Sure, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
You discussed those.
Oh, okay.
All right. Do I hear a second?
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Gary.